What's going on out there, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to your Soul Mapping Astral Weather Report for Monday, January 21st, 2019. I'm Aeon, and the Astral Weather Report is where I synthesize aspects of astrology, the I Ching, human design, gene keys, and a little bit of Akashic intuitive wisdom to give you a better idea of some of the energies that will be at play today from the genetic all the way on up to the cosmic levels. So glad you all could tune in on this very special day we have. Of course, we're still getting through and feeling that eclipse energy. Powerful transits we're coming into as we kind of move into somewhat of like a type of new world today in a certain sense. And I'm going to get into the charts and just go ahead and explain some of what I mean by that. For starters, we have this massive grand fire trine going on. Um, we have the Mars over here that's in Aries. Of course, this is a fire sign. We have Venus that's starting to it's coming into its conjunction with Jupiter today. It's not quite exact at this moment, but of course we're feeling that the most strong at this time because it's always right before these transits really hit that we feel the most power behind these transits. And then, of course, we also have the moon that's over here in Leo. This is a fire sign as well. So this is adding into this powerful spiritual creative force that we have going on. I've been talking about this new world in this sense, and what I mean by this is, you know, the sun has made its way into Aquarius now. So this is, of course, it's recently in this eclipse went through this, it's moved through this square with Uranus now. And of course, Uranus and Aquarius are all about this kind of like a ascension type energy, bringing us to these higher levels of this new world. And the sun's now made its way into Aquarius. And then after all these difficult, very difficult energies we've been moving through with this lunar eclipse, now we have this grand fire trine, and this being in fire, what this is saying is, this very strong supportive energy that we have coming in, that is almost seemingly kind of like coming out of nowhere, but it's very much like a spiritual creative energy. Fire signs are all about this, intense purification, spiritual fire, creative type life force energy within us. And we have this happening, we'll just kind of get right into this. I'll start out by saying that the sun is on the 60.6 and the earth is over here on the 56.6. And what this is saying is, we're starting to really see the vision beyond some of these limitations, and we're starting to really be able to accept something much deeper about ourselves and this new story that's being created and where we're going. I think to really see the overall themes, I want to just go ahead and jump into this really powerful grand fire trine that we have going on. Jupiter is conjuncting Neptune over here on the 5.5, and Venus is on the 5.4, trining over to Mars on the 21.5, and then of course the moon over here when it hits this trine is also going to be on the 64.4, and it's the moon that's giving us the kind of the clue as to what this message and this energy is all about after we move through this powerful lunar eclipse. And I think what this is saying here is we're starting to come to an understanding that it's when we truly surrender to something higher than ourselves, to whether we call that, the collective organism, this greater cosmic organism that we're a part of, or, it's our higher selves, whatever we want to deem it, it's by truly surrendering and letting go to these higher forces in the universe that we can become something much greater. And it's this kind of like alchemical ability to see that our own pain and suffering in this world is what is kind of like it's the medium that we have, it's the raw materials, the chaos in this kind of like pain that we have by living this life, that we're offered actually as a gift by this whole thing that we're a part of, to be able to turn that pain, to alchemize that pain into a sort of beautiful artistic expression. That pain that we all experience, the suffering that we experience in life, it's kind of that beautiful gift that, sometimes we can look at things in life, it's like it's that expression of like turning lemons into lemonade. It's that type of the energy where it's like that is the gift that we have, and it's what we do with it that determines our sovereignty. It's that is our power as a co-creator, to be able to take the raw materials that life gives us and adapt with them. And also this has to do with like a unique timing as well. The 5.4 and the 5.5 are all about surrendering to these cycles, the greater cycles of the universe and the world. Mars is over here on the 21, and this is all about stepping into our own authority, but it's an authority that releases control to something greater than ourselves. And that's how we truly become sovereign co-creators, is by knowing on a deep level that our ability to control is also through our imagination. You know, the 64.4 where the moon is all about creatively using our imagination, and that's where our ability as co-creators comes in, is this creative essence over what life is giving us, and to be able to like kind of like paint and co-create with the life that we're in. Venus is also coming into this square with Neptune. I think what this is saying is we still might have a lot of doubts about timing, how this is all going to play out. We could feel somewhat insecure, doubting our ability to generate the funds and the abundance we need, but we're also seeing connections come in from the universe, very powerful guides and helpers on this journey to allow us to really go into creating the dreams that we want here in this life. And although we could feel like a little bit unsure, I think we also have to realize it's those doubts that allow us to use our imagination to create something better. And I think if we just surrender into, the little signs that the universe is giving us, we can kind of rest a little bit more at ease. Saturn is in this sextile with Neptune here, Saturn over here in Capricorn, sextiling Neptune in Pisces. And, I think what this is saying with Saturn on the 38.5, Neptune still in the 63.4, we could kind of feel a little bit like a loner. I made the post yesterday about the blood wolf moon having to do with kind of like walking onto this journey somewhat alone in certain respects. And I think it's through our, distance from certain aspects that we are able to kind of like co-creatively work more in harmony and balance. And someone mentioned that they've been alone recently for a long time, or they've already been a loner and they're feeling the need to be come back to the collective. I also want to state that all these aspects, uh, since we're in this sort of like binary universe in a certain sense, it's always, one or the other. We could be, have been alone recently and we're feeling more need to work in harmony with groups, or it could be a balance of the two. Lastly, with the sun on the 60.6 squaring over to Jupiter, so saying we might need a certain restraint today, or semi-squaring over to Jupiter, I'm sorry. We could be presented with a situation where we kind of have to exercise a restraint within certain boundaries and structures in order to get to that abundance that we want, in order to get to that higher place and that greater vision that's coming into view. We could be asked to kind of like exercise a certain sort of, restraint when it comes to timing, kind of like holding back for the right moment. Um, yeah, it's this is like beautiful, powerful energies coming in if we can just allow and surrender and release and come to a certain sort of acceptance today with the way things are. And it's very powerful. I've seen that certain people have presented information about going into 5D, and this is very much that type of energy where, if we relax into what is, there's this kind of like veil that could open up today, seeing this kind of like other reality and this other level of things that we're participating in, and how we can, by kind of like letting go and surrendering to what's going on 3D, we can kind of like level up into this new space where we see this greater level in this gift that's kind of becoming all this in a way that we can truly be powerful creators in this kind of shamanic type ceremony. There's definitely this initiation that's really going on right now. I'm going to tap into the cards to see what's the overarching energy that we can expect for today, and what can we tune into to help us navigate through some of these very powerful transits we're in. And you can't make this up. This is the first code, which is the creative. And this is really all about allowing something creative, allowing a kind of beauty to come into this world. The one is the most powerful essence of the creative fire in all of the codes. And I think what this is saying is if we just kind of surrender to the process, whatever this is, whatever we're going through, this kind of like melancholy we may be in, a certain sort of like depression or whatever, and we allow that uh, energy to just kind of bubble up, we'll see it will spiral into a much more beautiful creative force that the universe is really asking for us to tap into our own creative abilities as co-creators at this time. So hope this has been helpful for you. As always, tap into your innermost authority, see if it feels right for you, and thanks for tuning in to the Astral Weather Report.